Hello everyone. Feeling a little better today. I have my moments. But I thought I'd come outside on a rainy day. Maybe that means the pollen is being compacted. So I'm going to show you what's going on. Plants are growing. These are my only garden plants. This is the only garden I have right now. And probably for the year. The tractor's up here. The trailer is attached to the tractor. There's a movement in the shed. Let's go see what Carrie's doing in the shed. But we'll pre-warn him, because if he hits his thumb, it could be bad. We're on the camera coming to see the mess we made. Isn't this lovely? There's no birds under there. They're still in the house. And in the incubator. And we're going to sell that. And, I mean, that. Not that.
I'm not for sale either.
You know. Well, I'll loan him out.
You could rent me.
I'm going to loan him out for the right price. When he's got time. Right. So he's taking all this down. And I'm sorry, I sound like a teenage boy.
Huh?
Or a preteen boy. That voice still.
Oh.
So you talk, and I don't have to talk.
Okay, so I'm taking all this down. Mostly because the bottom is leaves a little bit to be desired, and we want to be able to close it off better.
I call it rotten and gross.
And insulate it better. And she'd like a window here so we can get some cross ventilation. We have some bus windows outside. I'm gonna put a bus window in. We have an air conditioner over here on this side that is actually in a frame that will fit a bus window. So I can take the air conditioner out because honestly, it's not big enough for this space. Especially with it being just straight tin and not insulated. If it was insulated, it would be fantastic, but it's not, so it's not. So I think we're just gonna pull the air conditioner out and put the bus window in and put a screen on it so she can open and close the bus window and have the screen to keep bugs out. Anyway, that's the plan. Right now, I'm hooked up the Sawzall. I found the end of the 2x4 and I'm gonna cut it out. I would actually, looking at this 2x4, it's in really fine shape for the most part for a 2x4. It's just got this stupid plywood facing on it that's got nails every 6 inches.
Yeah, and there's nails below, and there's a hook right there.
Right, yes. I just haven't got that far down. So.
And none of this electric is live.
Yeah, this is
Just because they're gonna see that on the video.
There's one end of it.
You're gonna do what? With what?
And
with what?
Here's the other end of that same wire.
You could technically pull that out right now, and it'd be. You're just gonna have to do it anyway. But
yeah, I'm gonna have to. Except it's stapled up underneath there. See, I'm not gonna electrocute myself. There's a staple under here. It's
okay.
Gotta go.
And that's why the trailer's hooked up out there, because the trash is gonna go on that.
Yes. And this is.
Not the way Carrie would have done it. Please don't hurt yourself. We don't want that on camera. That's a different kind of videoing.
It's 12-3 solid copper, as opposed to stranded copper. But it's 12-3, which for...
Does that mean anything to you?
If you've ever run electricity to a receptacle, you know you need 12-2. So this whole place was wired with 12-3. Mostly I'm going to guess because whoever did it didn't know what they were doing. They bought wire. Oh, I need 3 wires. I need a hot, a ground, and a neutral. That's 3, so I got 12-3. All of these come with a ground. So you only need 2 wires, so it's a 12-2. Because it comes with the ground whether you like it or not.
Disclosure. He is not an electrician.
No, I am not.
He just draws like one.
I spent a dozen years working for electrical engineers, designing and drawing electrical.
I said you draw like one.
So I know the code. I'm just not an electrician. And I'm not a licensed electrician. I've never pretended to be a licensed electrician. and I don't want to be a licensed electrician. I prefer my job, drawing.
And if we could afford to have an electrician come in and rewire this whole barn and the house, we would do that.
Well, you know, somebody buy the tiny and we might. Plug for the tiny house that we're selling. It's on 3.1 acres. It's in Parsons, Tennessee. It's a nice custom-made 30-foot tiny house on wheels on a 3-axle trailer.
Enough, Carrie. They can go to the link.
Yeah. So
yeah. So after this is all gone and all this stuff is trashed out, the crazy purpose for this is we know this building sweats like crazy and it gets super hot and it doesn't have good ventilation, and all the storage was like it was shipshaw, and there was a lot of water damage on a lot of this. And then we put this floor in, which I know I've talked about before, where we put a drain. It's way back there. With the mindset that we would be processing animals in here, and the air conditioner actually was part of that process too. It was like to keep it really cold in here. If you have to hang a half a pig or a half a cow, or you have to hang something in here, which our preferred method is actually to just put it in a big barrel, which we have plenty of, full of ice or water. So, but whatever. But the drain's in here so we can do messy stuff and clean it up. And it'll go through the drain. However, I'm not going to 100% put at fault the guy who moved concrete around, because the foundation of what was under the concrete, I tried to level, and it probably wasn't leveled well anyway. So partially my fault, but partially his fault because he did a lousy job of leveling it. He could have improved the situation, I think. Even if he was honest and said, hey, you're going to need another yard to make this work and go in that drain, I would have accepted that. But he didn't. So
everything drains to that far corner of there where the tin.
it will go into the drain. If you're right over the drain and you got a thing and you're processing and you're right there, water will go into the drain. I'm not saying it won't. But it will also go that away from probably right about there where the pig feeder is, all the way to the corner, and even then the front part there, and through the door too, actually. So the idea is to think like, this sounds really stupid, but I've had to deal with FHA loans before, and I know that they had this weird thing that they would say no wood can contact the ground. So I'm thinking like that. The solution for that, one time in a shed, we did this. Okay, so you take and you cut and you get all the wood up 6 inches from contact on the ground. So I'm thinking the same thing. Okay, so if we pull all this off and we keep no wood contacting other than framing, you got to do that. Touching the ground, which I think actually framing wise, he's gonna just use metal from the shed to attach wire. So 6 inches from the bottom, the wire will be contacted to the concrete and the studs all the way around where the water gets to drain out, and that'll take care of having a problem with water sitting and soaking up wood or whatever. But we're not going to use wood. What are we going to use? Tins, because we have lots of tins on the other side of that wall.
See this one
Lots
right
and
here?
lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots.
We have about 30 or 40 sheets.
In the beginning, there was a need. There was a need to accumulate as much tin as we could get our hands on.
So we went to this one guy's house. We were gonna buy 10 sheets of this tin for $5 a piece, and he's got like 30 sheets or more. And he said, $100 you can have it all.
This is when we had money.
I wasn't even working then.
Like I said, this is when we had money.
So we went from spending $50 for 10 sheets to spending $100 for 30 plus sheets. I just couldn't turn it down.
But I think we got even more. We've accumulated
Yes.
through several different sources. Some of it's on tractors and some of it's around the deck that's coming down back there. That'll be my next stop, I guess. If I still have a voice by then. Carrie bought all this wood from the usual guy. We'll just say that. The usual guy.
A friend of ours has a company, and they use this plywood for making something that you would use to go hunt ducks.
So we're gonna put ducks in it.
And this
gonna
is
be a duck house.
this is the drop from the full-size sheets that they use to make these blinds.
Right, so it's gonna be a duck house. Some of that's gonna be a duck house. So anyway, that's what's going on in here. He's making all kinds of mess. Eventually he's gonna have to move some things around so we can get back to the feed. We only have a little bit of feed left in there for the sheep. They're gonna be really mad not to get green anymore, but you know what? Tough luck. You should be off of it anyway by now. It's spring, and it has sprung. Off we go. I'm gonna go see if I can lose. Huh?
About to make noise.
Okay. Woo! Lord have mercy. Carrie used the spreader today to put down some of the MPS seed where the sheep have been to get some more grass to grow. You might notice that, obviously, I know you noticed that the brooder that did have chicks in it, obviously I told you is empty now. That's because a gentleman bought our Australorp and Wyandotte hens and rooster and chicks to expand his flock, and he came and got those. So we now are completely Delawared. We are chicken Delaware. That's it. No other kind, just Delaware. And then of course there's the sheepies. Hello sheepies. Which are being quite stubborn about what grass they think they should eat. This is Cream, and she was a bottle baby, and she looks on camera, and she's going to pee for you because that's what she does. She's shedding really good, but Sugar here is not shedding as good as Cream is. Other case in point is that Cream doesn't seem to be producing milk like Sugar does. I can't see her back, but anyway, just from observing the lambs when they try to nurse off of them, it seems like there's an awful lot of banging, I call it, going on with Cream here and her baby, and not a lot of letdown. Doesn't even seem like she's getting anything off of her anymore. Not that she's suffering from it. They're both doing really well. They were starting to eat some of the grain that the mamas were getting, and they're also grazing. So it's not like they're suffering in any way. They look really good and healthy. So I'm questioning, and I will be talking to a couple of sheep folks about her. Is that a sign at this point that I need to be thinking, hey, maybe she's not going to be a mom, or a good mom, or she's not producing enough milk for her one baby? What's going to happen if we breed her again and she ends up having more than one? If she can't even supply enough milk for her. And they were certainly getting enough grain. They were getting hay. They were grazing really late still off of what we had. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to do there. We're going to be getting a loner ram when we're ready to breed, probably in September, quite possibly late September. So it'll be unrelated, completely unrelated to these girls. Does something itch? She's a sweet girl. I love her to death. But I don't want to repeat performance of her, and having a bottle baby. That'd stink. I'm not looking for that kind of situation. So everything, like I said, is growing, and I don't know if my sinus issues are because of all the stuff floating around, blooming. Everybody else is probably having the same problems I am. Mine's just been overwhelming, and part of that I think is because of my my ear thing, and I just don't think things are quite right in there. I'm not quite right. So I think when I get stuff like this, it just doesn't leave or process through me like other people. I don't know. Anyway, so here's this mess still sitting here. And of course, since it rained, it's like, but it's away from the house. That's good. But there's still more work to do. Carrie's boss is trying to get moved into his house that he built before he comes to help us with his heavy equipment. He suggested that we do more grading here, so we took the fence down. He said start working on taking apart your deck that you want to move and demo everything that's not going to be involved in the move, and get that just done. So he's been doing that when it's been good weather, but it's like I said, it was raining like crazy this morning. So he also suggested that a lot of your water is running, not only running to get the house, it's running and underneath your shed or your shop, and it's going to go towards your shed, which is even lower. So he said he really felt that coming down here and making a swale, yeah, and persuading the water that's up here down that way, away from the buildings, would be a good thing to do. So Carrie and I were talking, and we were thinking maybe it's time to take down the Widowmaker, and that would be a good spot to persuade that water down. That way, if we have to grade all of this through here too, that's out of the way. We'll see. I don't know. We shall see. We got a big burn pile. There's our Delawares. And of course the hostile lobster are gone. Tractor's still there. That's where the ducks are gonna go. And there's the ducks. And we were supposed to sex them. We're gonna get them sexed and marked, so we know how many males we have, how many females we have. We want to keep a minimum of 4. It says you want a minimum of 4 females per drake, so that's why we need to sex them, so that on about 7-8 weeks is when you process a Pekin duck. And we can switch them over to layer feed, the remaining ones, and until they mature at about 5 or 6 months, that's when they'll start laying eggs. That's when they'll start mating, so to speak, and then their eggs will be fertile, and then I can put them in the incubator. So I'm really trying not to lose my voice here. So my biggest problem with putting the ducks in here is this is not a duck environment. Ducks like water. They don't necessarily like mulch to walk on. Different kind of feet. They don't scratch. They use their bills to dig down. Yeah, there's electric there, and that's the other thing. They can actually squeeze through this field fence. We've seen it done. So we're going to take some of that green garden fence, which I have in the shed, and zip ties, go along the bottom of this on the inside, take that wire that's on the bottom, move it to the top, so there's still electric, and then we'll run it down over there by that one gate and across, so it'll still be there, but the rest of it'll be up high, so that I can put garden fencing along the bottom to get them from squeezing through, because no matter how big they get, they can get through that. This is obviously going to come out, and like I said, the duck house wood and pallet house will make in here for them, and all this mulch has got to kind of be gone, especially this really heavy stuff. We're going to probably put some sort of water area for them, a swimming pool or something. But the biggest thing with ducks is they need shade. They like to hide in the green. They like green. They will actually eat green. Even chickens will eat some green. And the only green, because chickens are so hard on an area when they're in contained area with the mulch, is nothing grows in there. So there's lots of fertilizer in there. So I was trying to figure out, like, okay, it takes forever to wait for grass to sprout and grow, and really want to get the ducks in here so they're, you know, not, I mean, not that I mind rotating. Rotation is great, but the ducks need to be in a stationary place so that they learn that's their house and that's where they're going to lay their eggs and so on. Doesn't work so well when you're moving them all the time. So I'm thinking like the Waltons. I watched the Waltons. So I'm thinking that if we grade this out and get some of the big stuff out and get it flattened out, then we will go around the property and we will dig up some of these no-nonsense plant things that grow on the property they love to hide in and they love to chew on. And I'm going to transplant them. So I will get a shovel and I will come to over here by the deck and all around the outside of the house, and I will pull stuff up and throw it in a wheelbarrow, and we will transplant it over there, which will provide a lot of greenery for them to hide in and chew on. Most of the stuff reseeds itself. There's a lot of dandelion. There is all kinds of stuff. You can tell there's all kinds of stuff around here. There's all kinds of stuff on the other side of the shed too. We probably will dig up and take out too and transplant over there. And then there'll be instant greenery. Hopefully it'll take hold. It's a weed, it probably will. So there's more over here. There's like a ton of it over there, see? And believe it or not, the chickens at one time that were there totally annihilated that. It's amazing what chickens can do. So that's pretty much what's going on. And the skies are graying, so it's gonna rain again. I don't know if it's raining where you are, like how frustrating it is to, like, it's spring and you want to do all this stuff, and if it isn't me and my health keeping us back, it's finances or time or weather. There's all kinds of roadblocks, but I just have to wait in the waiting. So let's go inside and we'll take a look at the 5 little Delawares that are in the brooder in the house. Yes, I'm brooding in the house right now. But I mean 5, big deal. And oh my gosh, I've like honestly never had chicks ever that I've ever had in the house, outside, whatever. That they seem to understand nighttime, daytime. And they're still so young, so it's really crazy. So like if I shut this curtain at night and make sure the lamp's off, then they're like, oh, it's nighttime, let's go to bed. And you don't hear them at all, nothing, you hear nothing. And then in the morning, they're like, they start moving around, chirping and, you know, saying, hey, I'm up and it's time to get, you know, things going. And I'll come in here and I'll change out their water and make sure their food's good and cover up any little poos. And it's a smaller tub, but they're still small, so they seem to be okay in here. They're doing fine. Very well behaved. Growing good. You're growing good. They're not feathered out yet. Too young for that. And then this new contraption, which is in the video that'll go up before this one. It's doing well. It pumps and pumps and pumps to keep the humidity up to where it's supposed to be out of that bottle in there. Keeps the temperature steady. It doesn't do a count, so I have to keep track of the count, the hatch count on my calendar, so I've already done that. So hopefully all 24 of those eggs are viable. That'd be awesome. So we can at least get half of our chick order in, because I don't think that there's going to be a brooder for them to go into out in the shed before they get picked up. The other ones hatch, so we'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much what's going on. Let me come over here to the window because I just made it super dark in here. This is my favorite spot because that's where all the pretty birds go to get bird feed. And I mean, Tennessee has some beautiful birds. The colors of birds in Tennessee is crazy. No. Tad, no, you're not allowed in here. Anyway, I guess that's gonna do us for today. We're glad you're tuning in and hopefully getting something out of it. Our experiences here, and we'll keep on trudging, and you keep on trudging too. Take care. God bless.